Hey everyone, and welcome to Drone News Now. Welcome to Drone U HQ, the home of NDAA approved drone training. As always, my name is Paul. Thank you for joining me today. I'm excited. And I'm also sad. This could be this news show will showcase the worst and the best news that we've seen in the drone industry this entire year. So let's get to the bad before we get to the good. The bad, there are two bills that should worry everyone, and I've actually reached out to Governor DeSantis of Florida for comment on this drone bill, as it would directly violate federal law in multiple forms. So a new Florida bill has passed that would allow essentially residents to use reasonable force to down drones that are breaking a reasonable right of privacy. Interestingly enough, we are not surprised here at Drone U that once again, state and local representatives of the government have not done their research, as there was a Supreme Court case out of the Southern District of Manhattan, or Southern District of New York, that showcased a reasonable right to privacy does not exist outside of your home. Yet Florida is saying that it does, which is interesting. If Florida allows residents to use reasonable force against drones, what that means is it's a direct violation of Federal Code 18 U.S.C. 32, which makes it illegal to destroy an aircraft. Since drones were defined as aircraft back in 2012, this would be a direct violation of federal law. So everyone knows that, redneck down in Florida who shot the Amazon drone out of the sky, that would make that legal. All because he had a fear that someone was taking pictures of him as he was on his couch eating potato chips, getting greasy, and watching TV or the latest episode of Survivor. Great drone footage. That said, there is another bill that everyone should be really worried about, which is in the U.S. Senate. Now, this bill has failed multiple times before, but could create up to 90,000 new drone laws, called the Drone Integration and Zoning Act, which is Bill 1249. It's a bill that allows local governments to have the right to regulate drone flights below 200 feet. This may be why the FAA has never defined navigable airspace. They talk about from the blades of the grass to the skies and heavens is what they control. Yet navigable airspace is typically anything over the trees. This has been a legal excuse that many FPV pilots and Cinewhoop pilots have used for decades to essentially not acquire a Part 107 license, stating that they're not flying in navigable airspace. Well, right now, drone pilots might want to beg for the definition of navigable airspace, because if local and state governments control the airspace below 200 feet, it would create a web of regulations where everything is different, whether you travel 20 miles here, 100 miles there, go across state lines. This would be a disaster for aviation. It would be a disaster for innovation, and it would be a disaster for drone pilots as a whole. It just goes to show that fear is driving most of these regulatory policies, whether it's fear on the extreme left or fear on the extreme right. Neither is good for humanity as a whole. Now, a lot of people are more upset by the fact that the Mavic 4 Pro has been delayed, and some people are super excited that it won't have an SD card. Well, that's great. Now you'll have to use a battery for your drone to be able to access all of your data whenever you need it. And honestly, I don't really care. So, good for the Mavic 4 Pro. Now, if the Mavic 4 Pro takes flight like the Matrice 4 Enterprise, which flies more like an Inspire 1, where you don't have that yaw prioritized over roll, so you get these turns where the nose is facing out, that would be fantastic. The Matrice 4 Enterprise is truly a fun drone to fly, which brings up an important point from everyone here at the Drone U flight crew. If you're considering buying a DJI aircraft or any Chinese aircraft, we would recommend that you wait until May or June to do so, as prices are most likely going to come back down as the tariff war boils over and Chinese and U.S. officials make a deal, which will be for the betterment of the U.S. and Chinese economies as a whole. Now, that being said, here's our best news of the year so far. As many people have complained about the expense for American drones and the expense for drones that don't quite compete with DJI, are much higher costs, offer many fewer features as a whole, those days may be coming behind us. We've seen a lot of new drones. We've been posting them on X, so make sure to follow us on X at the Drone U, because we've just posted a few new ones that no one has seen before. But Congress introduced another bill that would actually incentivize American manufacturing, injecting $4.5 billion for domestic drone manufacturing. These subsidies would significantly increase the capabilities of American aircraft. This could be a watershed moment for American drones, drone pilot growth, and innovation if this bill does pass. This would be huge. While it may service mostly defense contractors, it would also create supply chains for commercial and enterprise American drones as well. This is probably one of the greatest pieces of information that I have seen. This came out by the Armed Services Committee in the House. You can check out the bill in the links below. Another sad piece of news, as many of us have been flying for a long time, the DJI Phantom 4 and Phantom 4 Advanced support has officially ended as of yesterday. That's right, no new parts, no firmware updates, thank God, and no technical support. Pilots who have been flying these platforms should plan for essentially self-maintenance and upgrade paths. I will say the Phantom 4 Pro is still an amazing machine, and it marks the end of an era for the best DJI drones ever, if you ask me. The reason that I say that is, look, the Phantom 4 Pro had such an amazing ecosystem for doing mapping and inspections, but also could capture cinematic video. I mean, it could shoot 4K 60 video and do mapping. A lot of these new DJI consumer drones are fixed to great video and great photos and hyperlapses, but no mapping capability. This is where the American market also has an opportunity to shine. If people like Skydio, and FreeFly's already doing it, but if people like Skydio created drones that captured amazing video on top of being great inspection and mapping drones, it would be a new era for American drones as a whole. Lastly, on a final note, we talked about this last week, that look, if you are looking to buy a drone, we already talked about what to do, wait. But right now might be a great time to sell your used drone, as a lot of people are looking for aircraft that they can trust and rely on. With the increased prices of new drones, this means that used drones' value is skyrocketing. If we actually look at the Manheim Index for used car prices, they're going up as well. That being said, it might be a good time to actually sell your older DJI drones. Just be careful, because if the DJI ban does go through, as stated in the 2025 NDAA, the only drones that might be grandfathered for use that are Chinese will be the drones that you already own, so consider that. And lastly, as you bring those drones out for spring and enjoy the summer weather, make sure that you conduct a battery test on the batteries that have been in storage for quite some time. Many times when you've stored batteries, if they haven't been properly stored, they will not remain charged, they won't retain a charger as long, you won't get as much flight time, etc. So make sure you perform that battery test that we go over in the Safe Drone Operations class, which you can now buy as a single course. Thanks again for joining us here at the Drone U HQ. My name is Paul. I appreciate you greatly. And if you are looking for drone training that's actually taught from experience, that's systematized, structured, and gives you the best experience to essentially maintain your skills, improve your skills, gain confidence, and set a foundation for you to fly lower, closer, and smoother, then you know where to go. Drone U HQ.